Well, good morning and welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuk with Queen Bee Creations in a totally different view for you here today. As you can see, I have two of these big urns that I'm going to be refinishing. And if you can hear from my ring banging, these are solid cast iron. So these used to be my mother's, and when she passed, they became mine. There's a chip out of the rim of this one, but really these kinds of things are so expensive to buy or hard to come across. Now you can tell these are very old, very patinaed, which means they've rusted out. But oh, hard concrete floor, old legs. But they are perfectly serviceable. I'm going to fix them up, and I'm fixing them up for me. So I will try and give you some ideas along the way, places that you could stop if you want to, but they are going outside. And one of the things about Fusion mineral paint, it's an all-in-one paint, is it's okay for outside. And in fact, it really wears well on metals. These are going to be out in our Canadian summer, which is very hot and wet, and so they'll be out in the rain. I'm not pulling them in for the winter, so they're overwintering as well. So the Canadian winter, which is very cold, tons of snow, tons of ice. Now, a couple of years ago, I painted little metal frogs that in Fusion, and I had out in our fountain in our backyard. So they were hanging off the rock in the moss and sitting on the stones around it and stuff. The paint is still fine. So they were in the water, they've been hanging out in the snow, the paint is still on the metal. So I have no worries about these whatsoever. What I have done is I have had them sitting here in the shop for a couple of days to have a chance to totally dry out. And I've taken like a steel wool brush to brush off any loose dirt or rust or anything like that. Now, to be honest, there's still crap down in the very bottom of this. It has a hole, drainage hole that goes all the way through. So way down here, there's still old crusty dirt and things. I'm not bothering about that because I'm going to use it as a planter. So ultimately, I'm only going to paint part way down and the rest is fine. So I can just leave that stuff and not agonize over it. If I was selling them, I would feel differently about it, but I'm not. So I don't. Just full disclosure with me. So what I am going to do is I'm going to base coat them. And I am going to be using, obviously, Fusion mineral paint, and I am doing it in coal black. So they're going to end up looking like cast iron when we're done. Now, if you notice, I am just using a raggedy chip brush for this. This is rough, it's uneven. I'm not looking to have to get a smooth finish with this because of the texture of it, and also because I'm going to be doing multiple coats on it and it's going to have a textured look anyway. And for something like this that is kind of rough and jaggedy, I don't want to ruin a good brush. So there are definitely places where chip brushes are the perfect thing to be able to use. So this first round, it is as simple as this. We're just painting it out, but look at the difference that it makes already. I mean, you could just paint these black and be done. So you'll see the transformation, you know, when I show you before I move on to the next step. I mean, you could just update some of your old stone or cast iron planters, you know, with you know, a coat of black or a coat of brown or beige or whatever works for your house and tone. But paint really updates just about anything. So easy painting ahead for me. This isn't you know, rocket science. It doesn't require, you know, any special treatment to lay on a nice smooth foundation. I'm just painting. So I'll come back when these are done and dried as we look to move on. You can see the difference that a little paint makes. Now, if you like this look, you could stop here. I've only done one coat on it. I would do a second coat, and then I would use some Ultra Guard by Fusion to add extra protection and durability, but then you could be done. Or you could add a little bit of metallic paint. In this case, I would not use a gilding wax because it's going outside. Wax melts, y'all. So I would use a paint instead and then do the ceiling. So that's one option. They would look lovely. I want a slightly softer look than the black. So we're going to be doing some multiple coats. And you may have seen me do this. Most recently, we did some paint washes on a metallic urn. The process is a little different. It's similar, but a little different to that because we know this is going to be used outside. The urn was designed to be used indoors as indoor decor. And that does mean that the finish is a little bit different. It also means that my paint layers or my paint washes are a little bit different. So my next layer is going to be in soapstone, which you can see is a significantly lighter color. This being black, this being kind of a mid-tone gray. Normally, if I was doing this for inside, I would just add some water to this because then I would be waxing over top, or I would be sealing it and be done. I do want lighter layers. Oh, I have to remember I got two of these babies. I don't need solid coverage. I'm not painting it solid over top, but I've already got this all over myself, figures. But what's a little bit different is I can't just simply dilute this with water. I mean, I can, and then do multiple coats of a sealer over top of it. But I'm using an all-in-one paint and just adding water to it. The amount of water I would add to create a wash is going to virtually eliminate any of the sealing properties in the paint. You could add maybe about 10% water to this and you have not degraded the sealing properties. Anything more than that, and the more and more that you go beyond that, the more that you're just using a regular paint. You don't have any sealer in it. Now I'm going to loosen it slightly. Remember that, maybe 5% in there. But then I am going to further dilute it to create my wash effect using a top coat, using a sealer. So this, in essence, becomes my additional water in my wash. It's going to loosen that up, create that wash effect, but I'm not degrading the sealing effect. Because I know I'm going to be using this outside, the more layers of sealed paint or just plain sealer that I have on it, the better it's going to last. And I'm not looking at wanting to use this and, paint it every year. I'd like it to last because they're just heavy as heck. I'm not going to want to be moving them either. So I'm not going to want to be storing them. These babies are going to be staying outside throughout the winter. So I know I want to use as much protection as possible. So what I am going to do, just to not have my hands covered in everything, I'm using the same yucky chip brush. I have a little spray mister in case I need to loosen up sections. And I have some paper towels I'm crumpling up in case, but predominantly I want to use some plastic wrap. Now you could use just about anything to get a textured effect on stuff, right? And I'm just putting it underneath, because otherwise I'm putting it around some paper towel to give it some structure. Otherwise my plastic wrap just becomes a tiny little ball. It just disappears. So I want to kind of scrunch it up. I want to put it just roughly around. I don't want it to be smooth, and that's why I have all of the paper towel to be in textures. Ooh, can't lean on that broken wrist yet. I'm too heavy. I'm too heavy for my wrist. And what we're looking at doing is we're going to apply a bunch of that wash. Now again, because it's got a sealer in it, that's going to dry fairly quickly. But then I'm going to take these, and nice I'm doing this without the hand that's got the glove on, figures. And I'm just going to keep pouncing all over. I want to create a very mottled effect with this. Okay, so the plastic wrap works great when I have a really loose wash because the top coat doesn't dilute this enough. This isn't as loose as I need it. So I'm just going to be using all of my paper instead. And I'm pouncing enough that I get some of that black showing through, but it's very soft. And I'm going to move you in so that you can see what I'm talking about here. All right. And then we just start pouncing. This kind of effect gives it kind of almost like a, if I was trying to give a bit of a leather effect on fabric, this would be the look that I would use, and layering to create that kind of soft mottled look. And again, just working in small areas because this paint dries fairly quickly.
Just so you can see the difference that one coat of that lighter gray over top of the black does. It's definitely more mottled. You can see that there's black peeking out, but it's already started to soften the look.
All right, to start to finish this off, because I quite like the look of it now, lightened up a little bit. I have 2 little sea sponges, and on my paper plate, I have some bayberry, which is a fusion. In the middle is a bunch of top coat, and here is a Rust-Oleum bronze paint. And what I'm looking at doing is just very kind of judiciously, I'm tapping into my top coat first, less of the green, and I use my drop cloth all the time. And I'm just going to be adding a little bit of that green here and there around the rim. It will be a little bit less noticeable as it dries. You can see that I haven't re-dipped here at all. I can want to take it down a little bit on the inside here. And I'm going harder up on the upper rim, and I'll do down along the lower. Again, I still haven't re-dipped. Now I'm re-dipping, but I'm going down into the edge where I had the wipe off here. And I'm just adding, in essence, kind of a little bit of patina effect here. And I'll take them down. And then I'm going to go and do the same with some of that bronze paint, which is very thick because it's getting very old. So it's the one in particular that I need some of that top coat to loosen it a little bit here. There we go. And it's going to be a little bit more in some of those highs. And because I have one little final coat after this, I want these underneath that final coat so that they can echo up through it a little bit more. But neither of them are an everywhere kind of idea, you know, kind of coming down a little bit here and there, but mostly around all the details. So I'm going to do that to both the pots, see what it looks like when it dries, and then decide whether I do my final coat or I seal. Now that the paint on these has dried, I love the finish. I don't think it needs lightning. I don't think it needs anything else. You know, the paint dries darker, so it just kind of fits right in. So all that's left for me to do is to seal it. I'm going to use Fusion Ultra Guard in matte. Technically, it is sealed already, but because we know we're putting it out into the elements and we know we're going to be dealing with the great Canadian summers and winters and things, a little extra protection does not go amiss. So I'm going to seal both of them up, and then these babies are done and ready for whenever the weather warms up officially here, and I can start doing some planting and get them out on my front porch. But don't overlook elements like this. I mean, certainly, you know, if you get wrought iron, you get cast iron ones, sorry, like this, then it doesn't matter what they look like to begin with. You can make them lovely. A little bit of paint, and they are worth the effort because they still have years, if not decades of life left in them. And I love them. Bear in mind though, you don't have cast iron. You can use this same paint finish on plastic ones and make them look like they're old cast iron. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. Love to hear from you as always, and looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care.